Hey everybody, Tanya from Shooting Star SVG back here, and tonight I am going to talk about trademark and copyright, one of my favorite subjects in the digital design world, and something that is very important and critical for everybody to understand while they're jumping in. I am constantly learning and growing every day, and as all humans, everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes I will get a takedown notice from design bundles because their admins are very active about keeping the site free and clear of trademark. And while I generally do my research before I start designing, sometimes new trademarks can get registered and then they do a clean sweep of the site and get takedowns. So some of them are usually pretty surprising to me, but for the most part I'm very thankful that they do provide that service for us as designers to keep us protected. If you need to learn more about trademark and copyright, I do have several blog posts on my website about this that you can go and take a read if you just go and look under the tag for trademark in the blog, or you can do a search for it on the website and it will link to any articles that are posted on trademark and copyright. Today I'm going to focus on the actual search of the copyright website because I feel like it is a critical thing for people to understand. The first video I did on this, I had a lot of back information. I'm going to keep this one pretty short and sweet so that way you can understand how the search works and you can utilize that before you start designing. And first I want to just show you this Google Sheet, and I will post a link for this in the video that Missy Mayer has put together. She's a very well-known font designer out there, and I love her work. And again, she states here that this is not a definitive list, but these are, very surprising trademarks that maybe you wouldn't necessarily think of. I know dogs was a huge point of contention last year, and you can see some of the words on here that are just ridiculous. Like, how can you trademark a word? If it's representing your brand, yeah, I can see that, but it's like, come on now. So I have chosen a few from this list that I'm going to go ahead and search for in TESS. So just as I already have TESS pulled up, which is the Trademark Electronic Search System. I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can get to that just based off of the USPTO website. So you just go to uspto.gov and the website will pop up. And you can just go ahead and click on trademarks, and it will give you a lot of basic knowledge about trademarks themselves, and this is where I learned a lot of my information. Go ahead and click on search, and then you can click on search our trademark database, and that's going to pull TESS up for you. And you can see it's a pretty basic system, same thing I had on this other screen, so I'm just going to go ahead and close out on that. I wanted to show y'all how to get there. And you can do several different search options, okay? And you can do this through a basic word mark search, and I'll show you how to do that. And then you can actually go to a word and or design mark search, which is very structured. And then you can go to a free form, which is a little bit more convoluted, but you have to understand what the design codes are before you can get into these ones. So for now, I'm just going to keep it simple. We're going to go through a basic word mark search, and I'll show you some of the things that are very critical to understand when you go through and use this. So we'll go ahead and click on that. And of course, my session has expired. Why wouldn't it? Oh, Lord help me. Of course, something like this would happen while I'm trying to make a video. Let's try it. There we go. Okay, so when you click on it, this is what you will see, okay? And here is important. You want to make sure that you have the plural and singular checked, just in case you're searching for, let's say, dog. As you can see in Missy's list, dogs is trademarked, but dog may not necessarily be. But if you were to just search for dog, dogs, plural, would also show up. And here's an important piece here too. You can search for live and dead, or just live, or just dead. If you search for dead trademarks, these aren't currently active, so there's really no purpose to keep those included for the sake of your search. So I would just click on live. And then you're just going to type in your search query. So in this instance, I saw that the word sasshole was trademarked. So we're just going to go ahead and type that in and click on submit query. And I figured this one wouldn't come up with too many, so that's why I chose this one first, because I know that the next one we're going to go through may have quite a few, right? So you can see here, these are all live by looking at this column here. And this is an important piece to understand. If it does not have a registration number, which is this column right here, it is not a current active trademark. They may have an application out. So this is actually a mark. So it's this design that they're going to trademark for. So that's not really applicable in our case. And you can see that they're applying for this actual mark and that design. Okay. Now, for these two down here, you can see here that this is for class 25. If you go read through some of my blog posts, I do go through the different classes of goods and services. There's an all-inclusive website, and I will include that in the post so you can read up on classes and services if you're not familiar. But for our point, as digital designers, we really focus on 25 because that is mainly clothing. And you can see they've basically listed every clothing item that you can think of, even pantyhose. So that's kind of interesting. And you can see that this was filed on December 26, 2017. And somebody published this for opposition, filed a letter of protest in 2018. They do have an active registration number. And so, yeah, you can't use it, right? And you can see this here. This is also a clothing class for a standard character mark. So I'm going to go back and search for something that maybe is a little bit more interesting. And this one is dinosaur. I didn't know that dinosaur is a word that could be trademarked. You can see there's 200 records found. Now if we start scrolling, and I'm just looking for the word dinosaur, you can see most of these do not have registration numbers at this point in time. So we're just going to keep going here, and I do not see it yet. I'm going to click on next list. So these buttons aren't very user-friendly. You have to click on next list to keep going. You can see this is 51 out of 100. We should be able to find this pretty quickly. Nope, I don't see it yet. We'll go ahead and click on next. And you can see these registration numbers just kind of filling up here. Here we go. Dinosaur right here on the third page. So we'll go ahead and click on this. Looks like this is class 21. And it's for toothbrushes. Interesting. Still kind of crazy in my mind. Now you can find words that are trademarked for multiple uses. Let's see. Oh, that's for that specific mark. And here's another one. This is for sauces. So you can see the same word can be oh, here we go. Class 25 t-shirts. It's Dino Store. So they're saying that Dinosaur is their brand. And that, yeah, nobody else can use this for clothes. Because it's just a standard character mark. That's totally crazy to me. Oh, so I'm going to go through one more. Click on live. We're going to do Hello Sunshine. That was another one I saw that was kind of interesting. You can see there's a couple of them here. I'll click on this one. And this one does have 25 standard character mark for clothing and apparel. And this one was filed in 2019, so that's kind of interesting. And this one looks like it is a bunch of different classes again. A standard character mark. And this one. So the first one we clicked on that had that IC25. But you can see here multiple people can apply for the same trademark wording with different class goods. So that's a critical thing to understand. So I just want to go through that basic search real quick for y'all, just so you can see what that looks like. Still my mind's kind of blown about that Sasshole. That was a lot of that was a lot of stuff that they had trademarked under. Again, I will post the link to this Google sheet in the video as well, so you can kind of go through that. It's not an all-inclusive list, but it is pretty crazy. So here is the status on Dinosaur, just so you can see that. And if you click on goods and services, you can see that the primary class is 25 for shirts. I just find that kind of interesting. So keep that in mind when you are going through all of this. And if you have any questions about trademark searches or if something is trademarked, feel free to give me a holler and drop a comment below. I'm more than happy to help answer any questions you might have. There's also a really good Facebook group out there called the Trademark Watchdogs that you can search for on Facebook, and they can help you out as well. So I hope you all got something out of this. Again, make sure you use and test to find out what's trademarked and what's not. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to let me know. If you got something out of this video, please feel free to click like and subscribe. That keeps me motivated to continue making these videos for you lovely people. I hope everybody has a great night.